Mr. Boston, will you always know during the initial interview with the client who must you sue in a Maryland childbirth injury case? Want to know the answer to this question? Stay with me as I share with you this very important information. Hello guys, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm a childbirth injury and medical malpractice attorney practicing law here in the state of Maryland, and I would like to talk with you today quickly about that question. And that is simply, will you always know during an initial interview who you've got to sue in a childbirth injury case in Maryland? Well, the short answer is no, you're not going to always know. You may have a good idea of some of the players, but until you do a thorough investigation of the case, there's no way for you to know all of the players involved. Because what happens a lot of times in cases like this is that a parent will contact my office and they'll talk to me about some of the things going on. And a lot of times it's, well, Mr. Boston, my child was having seizures after birth, or my child was blue in color, or my child's not meeting certain neonatal milestones, or the doctors are telling me that my child has a brain injury and they were saying that it was genetic, but I'm getting some second opinions and they're saying that it wasn't genetic, but that it was a birth trauma type of issue. That's normally, guys, what we get. And when we have all of this going on, we have to do a thorough investigation to make sure we know all of the parties involved. For example, we need to take some time and we have to look at the medical records. Not only in a childbirth injury case must we look at the records for the baby, but we need to take a look at mom's records too. So there's a lot that we have to take a look at to make sure that we know who are the responsible parties. Going back to that example that I gave you about the mom who contacted my office and the child was blue in color, a lot of times what we will find when we go through these records is that during a vaginal delivery, the child might have been in distress. In other words, the fetal heart strips may show that the child's heart rate maybe was high. It was just way too high for a considerable amount of time. Or it may show that the child's heart rate was low, really, really low for a considerable amount of time. And during this process, the child's fetal reserves were depleted, and then now we're talking about a lack of oxygen getting to the child. And once we go through the records and we look at that, then we can see who was responsible when this was going on. Was the nurse not paying attention at the time, or was the doctor not doing what he or she was supposed to do? And see, guys, I hope that what you can see is that a thorough investigation will help flush out some of these issues. Now, there's also some other critical things that your attorney is also going to have to take a look at, especially when we're talking about the doctor. For example, is the doctor an employee of the hospital? Or is the doctor someone on the outside, an independent contractor? The doctor has their own practice and things of that nature. See, these are issues that are very important, and you're not going to have, a lot of times, you're not going to have the answers to these questions during an initial interview with the client. So, like I said, an initial and your investigation in a case like this is very important because it will help flush out some of these issues. Now, why have I taken the time today to talk with you about this? Because I'm hoping that you can see that this is a process. And I'm hoping that you can see that your attorney must take some time and investigate these cases the right way. I'm giving you insight into the Maryland childbirth injury process, or the medical malpractice process. If you have more questions about your situation, like I said, maybe your child has suffered an injury at birth and you have questions, you want to talk to someone about what's going on, this is what I invite you to do. And remember, guys, it costs you absolutely nothing to take this next action. And that is to go ahead and pick up the phone and give me a call. I can be reached at 301-850-4832, or if you prefer, send me an email to medicalinjury@bostonlawllc.com. I answer Maryland childbirth injury and medical malpractice questions like yours all the time, and I'll be glad to take some time and listen to your story. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's quick educational video. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and I'm one of the medical malpractice and childbirth injury attorneys here at Boston Law Group, LLC, and we will see you next time. Guys, take care and enjoy the rest of your day.